Giving honor and praise to the Most High, true and living God. The reason why we're having so much conflict within our race so much is because, and it's not just our race, it's other races. But women will always talk about what the men are doing, but at the same time, they don't want to take accountability of what they're doing. How can a woman want a man to be a man of the old, but then the woman is operating in the way of the new? There has to be some order, some structure. And being a leader and a provider is not about finances. It's way much more than that. A leader is a man that can instill instructions. He has insight, he has foresight, he has wisdom to teach not only his wife, but his children. And it's up to the woman, especially, to take heed to those teachings, even if she doesn't like it all the time. It's not about control or nothing. Yeah, after a while, if we see disrespect, dishonor, you being uncooperative or anything in any way after we done explain things to women, then yeah, of course, we're gonna get frustrated. You're gonna hear a reaction out of us. It's gonna be something that we may do that you don't like at times. It may not be all the time, because I guarantee if guys were always upset and getting so angry at women for not listening to him, which is very popular nowadays to do so, especially in our race, everybody would be dead. We'd be fighting and arguing. It'd just be bloody massacres every day. So even when a man does crash out, even when a man does get irate, he does have some type of self control. Most men do have control more than a woman. A woman will do the most vicious and crazy things, and then a lot of times you don't know who's behind it, who's along with her, with the issues that y'all may be going through, and before you know it, you dead and gone or in jail. And I can add on other things, but I'm not gonna even mention that. We can go on and on how women try to manipulate the situations, their issues, or whatever, just because they don't want to take accountability. A leader is simply a man that has some sort of wisdom, has, like I said, he has insight, fortitude, he has a foresight, and he's not taking people's bullshit all the time. And it's sad to me that people today will look at a man that continues to take people's bull crap as him being humble. Especially some women nowadays. They'll be like, oh, well, he loves me because he just, I done did all this messed up shit and he still was there for me. He loved me. He didn't say nothing to me. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't argue with me. That's not a man that necessarily loves you. 9 times out of 10, that man don't care about you. And he's probably doing way more things to you and you don't even know. And then one day you find out, and then you all disappointed because you thought you had this so-called great man, this perfect man. And like I said, I don't know why women even defend themselves, each other so much, because women do the same damn shit to each other. Even if they in same sex relationships. Women will get mad at a female for getting with another dude, all because she liked that female friend like that guy too. Most men don't even go through that. Like a man will be like, all right, you like her, whatever, cool. Even if maybe like the group of men all smash the chick or whatever, we gonna let each other know. We gonna move on. It's not. You got very few men that'll do that, and those are the ones that really be crashing out over a woman. But most dudes, they're gonna be like, all right, this is the woman that just out here. This is a woman that's really desirable, you know. And most of the time, we're going to be respectful of that, and we're not going to end relationships or get in fights and arguments because some chick, one of our friends, done got with a chick that we maybe was attracted to, but he got her first. But women do this all the time. And then what they do afterwards, they try to act like they weren't even attracted to the dude. And then when they start hearing problems going on in a relationship or whatever, then they start, the females start to side together, come together. But then even then, they really ain't even that cool. Like, we gotta wake up as a people. Women are just out here, and I'm not saying all, but many of them nowadays, even don't matter how old they are, they just doing whatever they want when they want, and then they want to say something about men being leaders. And the reason why men talk about being leaders is because we understand that some of us do, because there's the simps out here, and I'm gonna say they simps. The dudes is always talking about what you could provide financially for a woman, and those are the guys that 9 times out of 10 get disrespected. They don't even know. They be gone on the road doing whatever they doing so much. They don't even know what they ain't even in tune with their girl, their wife, for real like that. And they kind of find out that they chick or they woman or they wife doing something else. She doing her own thing. They don't even know. That's the thing. At least the guy that's you know involved, even though he may be working, he may not be making as much. At least he kind of know what's going on, and he has the opportunity to choose whether he wants to stay or not. Or they could actually sit down and try to come to some type of solution and reconcile their differences. And we got life so twisted, man. You can't put all this responsibility on a man when a woman is not being responsible herself. You can't say, I want a traditional man. I want a man to do this, X, Y, and Z. But then at the same time, you out here doing what these women out here doing today in these times. And you may not be doing exactly the same things, but it's in your heart. And this is why I come to the conclusion that I'm not saying all, I'm not saying I'm not saying all women. But what I'm saying is that I'm starting to realize that most women only look at leaders as the value that you bring financially. And if that runs out, or if it's not meeting that woman's requirements, then they're basically saying you're not a leader. But when everything was good, when everything was cool, and y'all was even splitting the bills down the middle or whatever, help taking care of the kids, all of that stuff, had a roof over y'all head, you know, you rolled throughout that whole phase, and it was like it was just survival purposes until you felt like you could come up and do something better. Like, I just don't understand the delusion in people's minds, because it doesn't matter if you white or black or whatever. Like, most people that are average working people, you're not the top tier, you're not even the 5%, none of that. Most people have to, even if we don't like the word, the term 50-50, most people are splitting something. No man is just paying all the bills for a woman, not the mass majority. And if they do, and if they do, I guarantee, even if it's a man that doesn't make, and he's not technically rich, only making maybe 100 to 200,000 a year, depending on y'all lifestyle, you're not gonna be able to do what all you want to do as a woman. You might have a roof over your head, food and clothes, and that's about it. And then 9 times out of 10, the woman get bored and tired of that. She wants to find herself, so-called find herself. She wants to go out and get all these degrees and stuff, and it's not even, none of this stuff is adding up. Common sense ain't common sensing. The math ain't mathing. The subtract ain't subtracting. The multiplication ain't multiplying. Like, we are literally cooked. And we got all these songs talking about women rule the world, and then people talking about women are leaders. Like, everything that women do and they touch, a lot of them, and they understand this. And I'm not saying that women, there's wise women out here that will just settle down and work a job, do what they need to do to take care of their children, and or even be there for their man or their husband. That's like uh, that's like saying that you saw a unicorn and you know the unicorns are not real. But the women that are out here trying to achieve more, a lot of times they're trying to compete. And they don't realize, because what you're doing, you're out here in this world trying to compete with the opposite sex. And then when you come to realize that after it's all said and done, most women have to go back to what, even after they get a degree, or two, or three, they have to go back to doing things that they didn't want to do. 9 times out of 10, even men that goes into college and they don't, and they're not going into college that actually they can graduate and it's actually going to benefit them financially, they wind up doing something that they don't want to do anyway, just to pay the bills, just to make ends meet. It's not about nobody being jealous, it's being logical. And if we want to be there for our kids and maintain our families, maintain anything, marriages, whatever, there's certain sacrifices that you're gonna make. You have to make in order for that to stay strong. But I'm about to land here soon. I just honestly believe that More people would rather the drama, the chaos. They would rather just keep thinking that they can just make their way up by doing things that just make them feel better as an individual, but they not going anywhere. That's why I keep talking about people are just busybodies. People know what they want, but they don't really know what they need. People know what they want, but they don't even know their purpose. They just chasing and chasing and chasing this American dream, and they ain't going nowhere. You're running into a damn nightmare. The American dream ain't a dream, it's a fucking nightmare. Especially if you keep thinking that you can try to get over or slip through the cracks or try to avoid issues that you have to deal with as a woman and a man, a mother, a father, a husband, or wife. So what I'm gonna say to you women, a lot of you women that want to compete with society, to go up the corporate ladder, try to get all these accolades and stuff like that, to try to make yourselves look better, what are you going to actually do with it? Are you just going to put it in a frame, sit it on a wall, and said, I did this? To make yourself look better? That's selfishness. That's like narcissist ways. And there's men that are narcissists, but the more and more I break down the definition and I hear other people break down the term narcissism, because narcissism really is selfishness. It's vanity, all of that stuff. And the more and more I break up the words, I break down the words narcissist, I am truly starting to realize there are more women that are narcissists than men. It's more so about themselves. And then even if they do show some form of submission, they act like they're in slavery, like they're oppressed, just because they're doing what they're supposed to do as a mother, as a wife. So do you either want to be home and do your thing, do what you're supposed to do for your kids, your man, your husband, build a family, or you just want to be out here in the streets? I just want to do what I want to do. And I ain't just talking about sexually. I'm just talking about, do you want to be out here in the streets? Do you just want to go and do whatever you want, and have no type of structure? And that means that you don't want a leader. It doesn't matter what type of man you get with. Women that have this mindset do not want a leader. That means that they don't want to take correction. They don't want to listen. They don't want to be cooperative. They only want a leader when it benefits them. They only want a man to come around when it benefits them. And then when they're done, they just throw you away like a disposable cup. But then get mad at the man because he see it. He's pointing it out, and then he's done and fed up. And that man may not even be all the way over with the situation. He's just trying to see what you got to do. If you gonna get your life together, if you gonna change. But yet and still the woman is always like trying to make the man to change and conform the ways to her and what she wants to do. And that's a horrible mistake to make. Because if a woman is not listening, she has her goals and want to do everything she want to do, and she doesn't want to get on a program that's going to benefit, the both of y'all as a team, then she's not a teammate. She's a boxer. She works and fights on her own. And to she will fight to her death to get what she wants. Without any compassion, without any sympathy, without any empathy, without any grace and forgiveness. She'll say, "Oh, I'll forgive you," all she wants, but actions speak louder than words. And like I said, showing forgiveness and grace actually also means that you're putting in that action, that work. Because faith without works or works without faith is dead. And the reason why I talk about these topics all the time, I'm trying to talk through a higher vibration of conversation because it really starts within the home. Unless everybody just want to be individualists. And if we're going to get to that point, how can we ever come together as a people anyway? Because we all need one another. If God even said it wasn't good for man to be alone and he created woman to be man's helpmeet, it was a purpose behind that. And what's said that we have gone out of the original purpose and design. And this is why nowadays the roles are being reversed and it's pushed on us to be reversed. So women can't get mad or upset when society has pushed the man out and you have went along with it, and then you're wondering why the man don't want to be around. That's up for the woman to go against those odds and say, you know what? I know I can get incentives out this world if I go out here and do what I want to do whenever I want to do it because I'm a woman. But I don't want to walk in that degeneracy because it's a huge cost for women to just be that free spirited out in this world. We're seeing it every time. Really huge consequences for women that do that. And then sometimes their children get in harmful situations as well. And I don't care how grown they are. If you're not thinking about that man, at least think about your sons, think about your daughters. If anything, and the saddest thing I say all the time, most of these women got sons and they still think that way and want to go against her husband or her man or the father of her children. When she got sons, most women would not want their sons to even go through the things that these women put their men through. So why do you do it? Or do y'all really care about even y'all sons? I'll land right there. Shabbat shalom to you all. Peace and blessings. I love y'all, but God loves y'all more. Amen.